Now, I do take on the demagogues in the United States, but I don't call anybody a liar. I'm not doing that. I'm not calling anybody big fat. I'm not doing that. I'm not too big on that kind of stuff, you know? Trying to elevate the discourse here. All right. I'm an analyst, all right? And when I say something, I back it up. Now, if I'm going to be accused of being a liar, now you better have something there, because in 6.5 years on the O'Reilly Factor and 1 year on the radio, 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, I have not had to retract one story. Not one. Of course, we've made mistakes, factual mistakes, and we correct them, as every newspaper does every day. You'll see the correction column. But we have not had to retract one story, because we are very methodical in the way we go about our presentation.
Thank you. Here's the preliminary cover of Lies and the Lying Liars Who Tell Them a Fair and Balanced Look at the Right. And Bill, we talked about this before. The picture of you, if we can get one from the Factor, would be great, because he wasn't happy with this one, and you know, this is a public domain picture, and just any picture of you with your mouth open would be good. So the mainstream media does not have a bias, left or right. There is, however, a right-wing media, and we know who they are. The Wall Street Journal editorial page, talk radio, which you talked so eloquently about, Bill, Fox, Fair and Balanced, talk about Orwellian. I mean, come on. I don't want to run over my time, but the book is very wide-ranging and it gets into a lot of things, and one of whom, and I know you don't like name-calling, and I know that you say you retract everything, but I do have Bill on the cover, and I want to just justify it, okay? Could I borrow your water? No? Molly? Oh, you're out? Thanks. Thanks.
Taste it first.
Yeah. Because I really need to tell this right. Okay, and Bill, you know a little bit of this story. A couple of years ago, I'm watching C-SPAN, which I love to watch, and I see Bill promoting his book, No Spin Zone, and he's on, it's a format like this, actually. It's a moderator, just with him, though, and he says, the moderator says something like, you hosted Inside Edition, which was a tabloid show, and Bill says, tabloid show, we won 2 Peabodys. And the guy said, well, yeah, but you got to admit, it was kind of a tabloid show. And he goes, Peabody's only the most prestigious award in journalism. We won 2 of them. The guy said, well, yeah, but it had kind of a tabloidy format. And he said, you want us to give our 2 Peabodys back? So I'm watching this, and I'm going like, Inside Edition never won a Peabody. So I nexus Peabody and Inside Edition. And I do get 3 hits, and they're all Bill saying on his show that Inside Edition had won the Peabody. Here's one from August 30th. I anchored a program called Inside Edition, which has won a Peabody Award. There it won 1. May 8th, you won 2. Well, all I've got to say is that Inside Edition has won, I believe, you did qualify it, 2 Peabody Awards, the highest journalism award in the country. And then on May 19th, 2000, you go into this long thing about, someone says it's, Neville says, he says you hosted Inside Edition, you say correct, which is considered a tabloid show, you say by whom, by many people, does that mean, and then you say we throw the Peabody Awards back, we won Peabody Awards. So I go to the Peabody website and look for Inside Edition Peabody Awards, and there aren't any, and I call the Peabody people, and I said, did you guys give Inside Edition a Peabody? And there was some laughter. And, you know, because I'm thinking, what was it for, you know, How Bare is Too Bare, or, you know, something on Madonna's first the father of her first baby, maybe you won it for. But they say, no, they've never won it. So I call Bill, and you were really nice. You called me back. And you said, yeah, what is it, Al? And it was very warm. And I said, I saw you on C-SPAN. You said you won. Inside Edition won 2 Peabodys. Well, we did. I said, well, you really should talk to the Peabody people about that, because they don't think you did. And he said, I'll call you back. Calls me back 5 minutes. You remember this? He says, okay, it was a poke. I say, a poke? He said, yeah. It's just as prestigious as the Peabody. I said, so there are 2 most prestigious awards in journalism. He says, Al, it's very, very prestigious. I said, well, okay, don't you think it's odd that you got it wrong about a journalism award? And he says, Al, if you want to go after me, go ahead. So I say, okay. So I call the Washington Post. I call Lloyd Grove at the Washington Post, and I tell him the whole thing, and he calls Bill, and Bill says Al has a jihad against me or something, so I got a poke. Now, Bill, see, I had sort of expected Bill to go, gee, Al, thanks for pointing this out. Boy, is that embarrassing. Woo! Boy, I don't want to make that mistake again. No, but it was, go ahead, go after me. So Bill in the thing acknowledges making a mistake, so big deal. You go on your show and say big deal. About a few weeks later, a columnist from Newsday picks it up and writes a column called Not All the Facts on the Factor of Facts or something like that. And then you do a little special thing. You're out with Michael Wolff. And on attack journalism, you introduce a personal story segment on attack journalism. This is personal to me because some writers are really violating every tenet of fairness in what they're saying in print about your humble servant. And then you say, I'll give you an example. Guy says about me a couple weeks ago, O'Reilly said he won a Peabody Award. Never said it. See, this is why you don't retract things, because you just continue. You can't find a transcript where I said it. There is no one on earth you could bring in that would say I said it. Robert Reno, Newsday, a columnist, writes in his column, calls me a liar, all right? And it's totally fabricated. That's attack journalism. It's dishonest, it's disgusting, and it hurts reputations. Wolf, the media critic from the New York Magazine, says it's also incorrect journalism if it's wrong. It's wrong. Okay, well, then the guy made a mistake. No, come on. He made a mistake. That lives forever in Nexus. And he did write a column, and did he write a column the next day saying he made a mistake? Well, obviously you should. Usually I find if someone made a mistake, if you ask them to correct it, they do correct it. Not in this society anymore. So, Bill, I'm sorry I call you one of the many people who do lie in my book. And I guess we're going to have some question and answer, so you have a chance to respond to that. And there's others. I mean, it goes on. And there are so many other people on the right who do it too, and they'll be enumerated in the book, and it's important. And it's really important. And it's important because we've been just taking it. We have been taking it and taking it on the left. I went to that Wellstone Memorial. The next day I hear Rush Limbaugh on the radio going, "There was no memorializing, my friends." They distorted that thing. I do a case study of that thing. They distorted that memorial so badly. And I wish Tucker were here today, because Tucker the next day said that Republican senators who had come, who were friends of Wellstone, were shouted down by people, by the crowd when they tried to speak. That wasn't the format of the memorial. There was lie after lie. Weekly Standard, Christopher Caldwell did the most vicious thing on that, on the Wellstone Memorial. Did not see it. All he saw, I think, were some clips on Fox that Mr. Hannity had put together. So I got this chapter and verse, and I got it. And we're not going to sit for it anymore. We just aren't. Okay, I'll finish for now. I could go on all day.
I know you could.
And I know you could,
About
too.
have. You just about have.
Yeah, you tell him, Bill.
We're supposed to be on here for 15 minutes. This idiot goes 35, okay? All he's got in 6.5 years is that I misspoke, that I labeled a polka award a Peabody. He writes it in his book. He tries to make me out to be a liar.
No,
Hey,
that's
shut
not
up.
No,
You had your 35 minutes. Shut up.
This isn't your show,
This is what this guy
Bill.
does.
Bill,
This is
you
what
can
he
tell
does.
me. You can't
all
tell.
right? This is what he
Take
does.
control, Pat. Come on.
I think, wait a minute, I think I need a whistle and a striped shirt
Wait a
here.
minute,
I'm not to be a referee.
Maybe I went on long
Ms.
because I got
Broder,
some
I have something to
laughs,
say.
Bill.
Can you please control him? This guy accuses me of being a liar, ladies and gentlemen, on national television because I misspoke and labeled a Peabody a poke. I didn't mention we won 4 national headliners, okay? This is what this guy does. He demonizes it, all right? And then other people pick it up. Now, if it's important to you that I misspoke and labeled a Peabody a poke,
You didn't just
that's
misspeak.
fine. That's fine, okay? This is what he does. He's a vicious, and that is with a capital V, person who is blinded by ideology. And that's all I'll say about the rebuttal.
Thank you very much. And I think what we need to do
I want to pat my
is
penny and 2 cents
reclaim
worth.
all of this. The one thing I want to say to the wonderful booksellers in this room, if your customers tell you that there isn't a variety of books coming out this fall, your customers aren't paying attention. Because I must say, I think we have shown here this tremendous range. And I think one of the things that all of us stand for, booksellers and publishers very vigorously, is free speech and freedom of expression. And I hope we don't take this personal, and I think at this point what we really need to do is find a way that we're going to have some questions and see if we can do this. So wish me luck, and if anybody does have a whistle and any of those signals for piling on or something, I'm ready. But
Pat, can
Molly,
I just put in a
we'll
brief
yield to you.
response to both speakers? I just want to note that the Polk is an extremely prestigious journalism award, but that by normal journalistic standards, you owed a correction on that one.
Yeah, we did.
By the way, the poke, I'm sorry, Molly, but the poke that they won was won a year after Bill left the show.
The discussion was about the program. I said nothing that I won anything. It was a discussion on the program.
Then why did you use
Ms.
the
Island,
pronoun
thank you.
we?
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Okay,
I
Boys.
also wanted, wait a minute,
time out.
wait a minute. Just to say a couple of other things. In our ongoing efforts to achieve civil discourse, one of the things that I notice is that we do tend, and I know Bill specifically says he tries not to do this, but we do tend to lump everybody, you know, the left, the right, and then accuse the left says this or that. And it's interesting to me because what I keep saying to people is, I ain't the left, I ain't populism, my name is Molly Ivins. Private defense contractors are pulling that shit off.
That's not just in the defense industry. It's in the poverty industry. It's in the educational industry. It's across the board.
Am I being punished?
No. I'm sorry.
I wanted also to respond on the
Forgive me. I just thought we'd have a Doug Jones argument over here.
Okay, no. I'm enjoying the debate. I'm enjoying the debate, but I could actually participate in it.
Property away from people and give it to other people.
Okay. Wait a minute.
Al, this is way over your head here.
No.
All right. Go back. We'll call you when we need you. Go back over there.
Unlike Molly, I am a liberal. And the idea that government programs can't help people is ridiculous. And I'll give you a story. I mean, you like to say you came from the poorest background possible. You've said that.
No, I haven't.
Yes,
said
you
I came
have.
From a working class Levittown
You said
background.
from the...
It's another distortion.
Did you grow up in
Go ahead,
Westbury
Al.
or Levittown?
the Westbury section of Levittown.